So next, what I want to do is talk to you guys about Prospect Rocket. And really, again, the goal of me recording this is to talk to you guys about the tool. I endorse the tool. It's a tool that I think is amazing, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why. And then I'm going to offer up a complimentary bonus for you guys as well. And there's a great cost saving effect to Prospect Rocket, and frankly, a whole lot more features than probably what most of you guys are using when it comes to cold email. And I want to walk you guys through that and kind of how I see it and the big opportunity with Prospect Rocket. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So first and foremost, again, our team has researched, used, and tested literally dozens and dozens and dozens of cold email software and prospecting software. And it's not like we stopped doing it years ago, right? We did it years ago as we were building our first agency, but as more and more of these platforms have come to market and somebody suggests one and they're like, yeah, I'm getting great results, like we go jump on it and we try it. And we're always on the lookout for a better solution, always, no matter what it is, right? But we're very strict, and we're not going to jump ship without knowing that it is in fact a better service, and we're getting better results, and there's a clear, definitive reason, right, for moving. So for years and years and years and years, we have used a platform called QuickMail. You guys can check them out by looking at quickmail.io. And we've always used QuickMail for cold email. And again, the goal, our whole goal with cold email is to build an evergreen outreach sales process where we can set it up, we can get it working, right? The first week, 2 weeks, we're going to have to reply to a ton of emails, we're going to have to really play with our messaging. But then the goal after that is to really be able to feed this evergreen machine, right? That's just running. And as a business owner, you have a list builder, you have somebody running lists for you and adding lists into this evergreen prospecting system. And at the rate that you want, people are being added into your cold prospecting system. So, for example, 10 prospects a day, every Monday get added to your 5-step cold outreach sequence, right? Or 10 people a day, Monday through Friday, or whatever schedule you want, depending on the scale you're at in your business, or quickly, how much your average customer is worth. There's a lot of factors in there. But that's the goal for me when I help people build systems with cold email. And that's the outlook that I always have with people when I'm helping them. And if somebody has a different outlook, like they want to blast 1,000 emails today and they've never done this before, like I'm not interested. I won't help them. I won't train them, because I believe that a business is built on recurring systems and processes. And at the end of the day, if we're not building a recurring system and process, it's going to die tomorrow. Like, what's the value? Like, why are we even building this thing? Like, what are we doing wasting our time? So the goal for me when we build a cold email platform and it's evergreen like this, or a cold email system and it's evergreen like this, is just to be able to have the ability to only check in on it, right? Like 1 to 2 times a month after the campaign is running, and just to test new subject lines and test new email bodies. And then the only other thing that we got to do is we got to respond to prospects when they reply to us, right? If instead of automatically booking into our calendar, right, or buying through a VSL that we have, right, they respond and they're like, hey, does tomorrow at 3 o'clock work, right? Like, we obviously have to respond to those emails. This isn't a push button magic whiz bang, type of system. I don't believe in those. So that's my goal, just so you guys know. I'll give you a little perspective. So what I want to do right now is I want to jump in. I want to show you guys around the system, show you guys how it works. So here I'm inside of Prospect Rocket. I'm going to grab a sip of coffee here. And you should very, very quickly see based upon what you see on the screen, that this is not just, this is obviously not just a cold email platform, right? You got activity goals, right? You got opportunities. You got how many deals are going to be closing in the next 30 days. You got year to date, how many deals were won, how many deals were lost. It's tracking how many phone calls were made today. So that's the difference for me between Prospect Rocket and most of the tools out there. When I look at most of these tools, they are either cold email only tools or like CRM tools, and they don't do cold email, so to speak. This kind of does everything, folks. Okay, so we got everything here from, I would say, CRM and marketing activities and opportunities and deal flow and managing deal flow and tracking outbound calling and managing a sales team, and how many gatekeeper calls were done today, how many decision maker calls were had, how many presentations were given, how many proposals, and you guys can customize this stuff, right? That's it for me. There's much more sophisticated automation in here than I see in most cold email platforms, if not like all cold email platforms. There's better opportunity in deal flow tracking, setting reminders and follow up, and calls to be made. That doesn't happen in most platforms like this. All right. So first and foremost, you got kind of like a contacts settings page. And this is kind of like a traditional CRM. This just lists all of your contacts. And it's going to list the contacts by company. Okay, so company, not by individual, at least in this view. Once you get inside of looking at the company, you should then see your contacts at the company. So it's kind of company-centric versus contact-centric. Opportunities in here, these are like deal flows, right? You can track what you have in your pipeline. You can create, I believe, your own pipeline. Again, this is, for me, I see this as a huge win, but these aren't features that I'm using currently, okay? Under marketing, then is where you see kind of the norm, so to speak, right? You see, 5,000 contacts in a cold email sequence. Inside of here, there's all types of templates. We got broadcasts in here, which would be like voice broadcasts, for example, almost like voice drops. And then we have a calling block. So essentially, this calling block is we can take all the contacts, or we can filter down to contacts. We can say everybody that's opened up my email in the last X amount of time, or open this email hypothetically. We can create a group of engaged contacts, and then we can add them to a call block. Okay, and then we can quite literally say, I want to set a marketing goal of, marketing time. I want to call for 60 minutes, or I want to make 60 calls, or I want to make X amount of appointments, and I can hit go, right? And I can do it, or I can track my sales team doing it. Inside of Sequence, you're going to see some more kind of traditional cold email stuff, but there's some cool options inside of here too, right? So we got high level, like contacts added, we got bounce, we got unsubscribe, kind of normal stuff. We got the calls are actually being pulled in here then as well. We have a throttle in here as well, and this throttle function was actually added from my suggestion. Because I do things in an evergreen way. I don't want to have to manage this system day to day. Like, I want to set up the system, I want to get it working, and then I just need this thing to run day in and day out for me. And so the folks at Prospect Rocket were nice enough to add this for me, so that you can say X amount of people per day get added into the sequence. And again, we want methodical campaigns, not spray and pray, not like a big bazooka, right? And so you'll see that we can run subject line split tests. Here's, an 8% open rate on a really funny email, right? Your mom gave me your email. We got analytics here. Okay, we got the contacts. You can see in here there's sequence automation. So you can you can say, like, you can grab a pixel and put it on a thank you page of an opt-in, and you can say once somebody opts in and lands on that thank you page, like, remove them from this sequence. Or once somebody buys, right, remove them from this sequence. And so we're able to do some really cool stuff. You can also drop like retargeting pixels or other type of tracking pixels inside of here, which is really great. Let's see, what else can I show you with the sequence? So this is what the sequence looks like, right? So here's the number of touches, email 1, email 2, email 3, send, on the 3rd day, on the 5th day. We can add a touch here. Here are all the additional fields as well. So these are all tokens from Lead Kahuna, right? And so we're able to put in any of these fields. So these are Lead Kahuna data fields, and these are other data fields inside of Prospect Rocket. So if we put in fields inside of Prospect Rocket after talking with a prospect, then we can put that in actually the email content here. So you can get really, really, really creative with this stuff. So that's how the sequence works. Let's see, what else do I want to show you guys? Oh, so Prospect Rocket doesn't only handle cold emails. It also does the CRM stuff, right? Prospect tracking, opportunity tracking, deal flow tracking, call block and making sales calls, voice broadcasts, but it also does warm email. Okay, so it also does warm email. And so in here as well, you guys can set up your pipeline. And so you can add a pipeline. Let's say demo pipeline. And you can see I put in before like a pay-per-call pipeline. And then you can put in your own stages. And so you can see for me, I've put in, stages. When I grew my last pay-per-call agency, right, really, really quickly, 7-figure agency, very fast. These were kind of the stages that we tracked. And these are the stages that I suggest people normally track, right? We talked to a person, we got past the gatekeeper, we got not interested, or the consult was set, consult hold, or we closed the deal. Right? Like those are the main 6 things that we track. And so people are going to be in one of these buckets, or we're going to put them on like a do not call list. So then warm email stuff you can set up here under email setup. Integrations then, and there's probably some private stuff in there I don't really want to share. In here, you can put in your integration. So Twilio, Aweber, Constant Contact, GetResponse, Google Calendar, GoToWebinar, iContact, Infusionsoft. So you can do some automations, push people into stuff right through here. And then under email, I don't want to show it just for security purposes, but inside of here, you can specify cold emails and where you want to send cold emails from, like the services. Like Google Apps, for example, or Gmail, or whatever other services you want to use. And then there's also warm email campaigns that you guys can use and you guys can run through a Prospect Rocket, and you can have those set up on different services and from different domains as well. So that's a real quick kind of dirty over-the-shoulder tutorial. If we go to this training section, you got to log in, so I'm not going to go through that, but you will see that there's a boatload of training inside the training section as well. So without further ado, we're going to jump back into, we're going to jump back into Keynote. And I want to give you guys some takeaways here. So at the end of the day, I feel like the big advantage with Prospect Rocket is that you could do a whole lot more than just cold email, right? We got lead capture too. I didn't even show you guys that, but you can actually capture leads inside the system. We got warm email campaigns and different providers, and that's why I put provider there, different providers and platforms that we can integrate with than the cold. So we can keep them separate, and they should be separate. Then we got automations, we got call blocks, we got voice broadcasts, we got opportunity and pipeline tracking, and folks, at the end of the day, just so much more. And when you look at the price point for this, we got $79 per month. And don't quote me on this, but I believe that gets you 5 seats into the platform. Okay? And it gets you 5 seats into the platform with all of those features. So I believe right now, quick mail for like their, not their starter plan, but the one up, it's like $10 more, $79 or $77 or something like that per month. And that's per user. Okay, you can add different emails in there, but that's not users, that's not seats. It's $79 per seat. So if you have 5 salespeople and you want them inside, that's $400 a month, right? At $80 times 5, $400. Like at the end of the day, understand that if you want that CRM capability and all the extra stuff inside a Prospect Rocket, you're really getting a freaking steal. Like you're getting all the cold email stuff. Like you're getting everything that's in addition. You're getting for free and like getting paid to use it. So again, I threw in a bonus here, and I call that my cold email domination training. And the reason that I did that was because if you're going to pick up Prospect Rocket, you got to be doing cold emails, and I want to make sure that you make the most out of it. I'm going to teach you guys how to do it properly, what you got to do tech-wise, you know, the emails that you guys should be using, how you should be structuring your emails, and how you're going to get amazing open rates and response rates as well. So go ahead. I highly recommend if you're in the market for a cold email platform or CRM or deal flow tracking platform that you invest inside of Prospect Rocket.